Welcome back to the Money Script Podcast. It's your host, Yohance Harrison. So happy to be with each and every one of you again today. Loving the summertime heat. We just got past July 4th holiday. It was hot. It didn't rain, but it was really hot. I hope all of you enjoyed your holiday. I know it was a little rough for some of us coming off of that exciting week that we had in the Supreme Court. I know a lot of you have mixed feelings about some of the decisions that were made. And then we got to go celebrate being Americans. Yeah. I am very excited today. I am joined by one of my favorite social media superstars. So we're going to talk a little bit to Maria about that. But of course, we're going to start off going through some current events. We're going to talk about a little bit of money because that's what we're here to talk about. This is the Money Script Podcast. I am a financial advisor, and I'm here to help you bring better alignment between your values, your goals, and your financial behaviors. I do have a puppy that is roaming around the studio today. For some reason, she does not want to sit down. If you saw the shaking in the camera, that's because she decided she would just nudge the camera tripod right now. Sit down somewhere. Bella, sit. And now Bella is in the podcast. I don't know. It's not here. So after I bragged about saying, oh, yeah, my dog's not going to do anything. Of course, it's my dog, the one that acts up.
Should I bring my dog into the podcast?
Oh, man. I mean, I feel like they both have to be in the podcast now. Maybe we'll save that for the end. We're going to get some doggy time in the podcast. That will help us with clicks, right? Because people love cute puppies.
I think so. Yes, yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. So let me introduce, as I mentioned, one of my favorite social media superstars, Maria Gargiulo, who is the CEO and founder of Me, Myself, and Health. She's been a solopreneur, an entrepreneur. She's done a little bit of both for the last 5 years. So first off, hats off to you, Maria, on navigating these crazy waters of owning a business and having contractors, employees, and clients. And isn't it fun to know that a lot of people have to fire you and not just one?
Yes. It has been a journey, let me tell you.
That is the beauty. That is the beauty. So we'll get into a little bit more about her story, but let's start with the current event because, of course, Maria and I, we were here chatting it up a little bit before we hit that record button. But we were talking about the current event, which is that this week, the jobs numbers came out. And if you've been following the shows, I like to talk a little bit about this looming recession and inflation and all this stuff that we've been dealing with in the markets and in the economy. And just this week, the job numbers came out, and the job numbers were better than expected. Unemployment actually went down. And again, if you follow the show, this a lot this season, we've been talking about the softening of employment that was wanted by the Federal Reserve, meaning they want unemployment to go up, which seems pretty counterintuitive. Why would we want Americans to lose jobs? Well, the reason they want unemployment to go up is because they want the economy to cool down. We've all been fighting inflation, higher cost of gas, higher cost of food, higher cost of everything. And that's what they're trying to tame, is to bring inflation down. And the best tool that the Federal Reserve has to help lower inflation is to raise interest rates. So for all of you that are buying cars or buying homes or just have debt on your credit card, you're noticing that that interest rate has been going up. I mean, for home buyers, 3 years ago, you get an interest rate of 3%. Today's the best interest rate you're going to find is maybe 6.5. So it's almost double in the last 3 years. So again, they're trying to slow the economy down. So an adverse effect of that is that typically companies will hire less or maybe downsize. And we've experienced a little bit of that, especially out there in California. You guys have experienced quite a bit of it being in the tech haven of the U.S. A lot of people in tech are losing jobs because there's not enough money going around to continue to fund some of those projects. So that's kind of the state of the union of what's happening today. So we did see this week that the markets reacted a little skittishly, I guess is the word I'll use, with those jobs numbers that came out. We actually have been having nothing but market gains for the last few weeks. And then all of a sudden it started to go in the other direction. But that's the market. It does that. It goes up, it goes down. You want to look long term, not so much short term. So Maria, you mentioned that in California. Well, let me ask this: as a business owner, have you experienced where clients have lost their job and have maybe made some decisions about the services you provide?
Absolutely. not only clients, but even friends. You mentioned that it was not a lot of people are hiring right now, and that's so true. I have a friend who's in IT, and he's applied to over 50 places, and then no one is hiring. Like no one, he's not getting callbacks or anything like that. And it's not a him thing. It's just, and yeah, it's just there's definitely a shortage. And then even his own company is not paying him what he really deserves, and he knows that. But yeah, to answer your questions, definitely for clients, yeah. I mean, I get some messages that, hey, I just lost my job, I can't continue this service, and it's hard to hear that because they need the services and they're having to put themselves on the back burner because of financial reasons, which is really sad.
It is. It is. I agree. So let's talk a little bit about your business. So Me, Myself, and Health. I love that name. How did
Mm-hmm.
you come up with it?
My mom and I did actually. So I was like, Mom,
Shout
I
out,
think I want to
Mom.
start a business. Yeah, so I think I want to start a business. I'm really good at this. What do you think that we should name it? And so we were just going back and forth with what health meant to me. And for me, it was taking a step back from my party lifestyle, my overworked lifestyle, and really concentrating on myself and my health. And so we kind of played with that terminology. And then we remembered, the saying me, myself, and I was like, what if we do me, myself, and health? Like, oh, that's kind of catchy. Let's just try it out, see how it hits, and it hit. So here we are.
5 years later, still hitting, still
Yeah,
hitting. So
yeah.
so what? Tell me about your business. What do you do?
Right. So it started off with me helping women with nutrition and workouts. And then as I progressed in my career and started experiencing hormone issues and gut issues, I started to incorporate testing and internal health into my program. So now, if I were to summarize what I do, is I help women to be able to fit back into their clothes, lose weight, gain muscle, body recomposition. But I do it by optimizing internal health first so that the dieting process is easier for them. There are so many women that are struggling with gut issues, hormone issues, and they have to work harder to lose the weight. Whereas if their internal health was in check, it would actually be a lot easier and more sustainable.
So you mentioned testing. What do you mean by testing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for me, it's really important to be efficient in my programming. So I would rather not throw supplements out or do a protocol and kind of guess that what I'm doing is right. I want to know that we are doing the right thing for those specific hormones and those specific gut bacteria. So, what I love to do is a Dutch test. So this is where I will go in and a Dutch test will be sent to the client and they will pee on this strip over a period of time during the day. And then we get the results back and we can see exactly where their hormones are at. And there's like 50 different types of hormones too. There are sex hormones, stress hormones, happy hormones. And so those can all affect your mood, your progress with your physique goals, and yeah, so we take a look at those and we see what is off, and then we can go into specific supplements, specific lifestyle adjustments, specific program adjustments to help those hormones go up and down according to where they need to go. So it's just more efficient because I'm pinpointing, something instead of just throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping something sticks, right?
Hmm.
Same thing goes for your gut health. There's so many different strains of bacteria. Clients could have a yeast overgrowth. They could have a parasite. You never know what is causing inflammation. So when you can test for those things, you can figure out what specifically it is, and then you can assign a proper protocol for that. So it just speeds things up a lot faster than if you were to just try to navigate one protocol after another until one works. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. So tell us about your journey then, because I've seen your before, your before, and then your after
Mm-hmm.
before, and then your after afters. I mean, you've had quite a journey. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
your health
Mm-hmm.
journey.
Yeah. So I was raised by a family that really valued clean eating, I should say. Not specifically clean eating. I was raised Italian, so my dad cooked everything from scratch. We didn't have a lot of processed food, so I probably grew up a little bit more mindful of what I was eating. My dad was a big sugar Nazi too, so that also helped. But it also was super restrictive for me. So then when I started cooking my own food, I kind of
Mm.
started to go balls to the wall in a sense. It's like, well, I haven't had I haven't been able to have this Twinkie my entire life. I'm going to have 5.
5 of them.
5 of them, exactly. And, my dad owned a restaurant my entire life. And so I was always around restaurant food too, which although it can be healthier, at least my dad's cooking, it's still high calorie, right? So in my early 20s, I was just being a 20-year-old. I was going out, I was drinking, I was eating, I was partying, and I was fresh out of this toxic relationship. So I was kind of masking my feelings as well, just trying to keep busy with friends. And I was just living this party lifestyle, as I'm sure most 20-year-olds do. And I just gained a lot of weight in my midsection. I mean, I looked like I had a nice spare tire around my midsection. I had some big old hips. And I just remember my mom, obviously she's like, "Oh, you're beautiful." She's like, "These are the rose hips." That's my mom's last name. She's like, "Everyone has these. Your grandma had them. I had them. You have them. It's just how you're built." And I was like, "Okay, great." But they just started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden, the turning point for me was when my Thanksgiving eating pants were tight. The pants you put on that are stretchy that you just put on for eating for holidays, where they're not going to cut into your skin. Yep. Yeah, I put those on when Thanksgiving. I was like, oh no. I was like, okay, something's got to change. So that's when I contacted a local trainer, and he had me go through this very basic workout and eating program. I did really well. I lost 15 pounds. We saw how much muscle I had. He's like, "Hey, you should do a show, a bikini competition show." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's do that." Ended up winning that. I lost an additional 15 pounds. I was pretty lean. And yeah, got first place in that, and then just started competing and was winning all my shows. And then people were asking me how, I was doing it, and I was supporting them. And that's eventually we'll talk about that side of the business. But I lost that 30 pounds, and then I gained about 15 back. Very healthy body fat, because when you're a competitor, you're super lean.
Oh, super
and
lean.
So I was, yeah, and you can't stay that way. It's not good for your health. So anyway, so I found a really nice, happy place. And then I was continuing to almost like chase that bikini competition look. So I was training 6 days a week. I was under eating a little bit. I was trying to like maintain and be super lean, and ended up kind of eating all of my hormones. So we did a Dutch test, because I was doing everything right, so I thought, but I wasn't losing weight, and I was actually getting softer. So I contacted a coach who was like, "Okay, let's see what your hormones look like." And I said, "Okay." When those came back, I looked premenopausal. I had no testosterone, no estrogen, no progesterone. Cortisol levels were through the roof. I mean, I was just putting my body through the ringer.
So you sound stressed to me, is what it sounds
like. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sleeping very much. At the time, I didn't have anyone to help me with my business. It was all just me. So I was trying to do it all. I was trying to be Superwoman, have the career, have the body. And I was just, and even as a health coach, I was doing too many healthy things in a sense. So I had gained around 15 extra pounds from doing that. So I was able to lose that. So then we were able to work on my hormones, and I was good for about a year. Felt really good in my skin. And then I started traveling internationally. And I was going to Mexico, Peru, Costa Rica, and somewhere along in those travels, probably Peru, I think Peru is what did it for me, I started to develop severe gut issues. I mean, I had acne all over my face. I was so distended and bloated. Again, I had gained around 15 more pounds, and I was still training. I was probably eating a little bit more than usual just because I was traveling, but I had all these symptoms, and I was just so uncomfortable in my skin again for the third time. I was like, oh, I have to go through this whole process again to get back to my happy place, which thank goodness I'm here right now. But that was both of those healing journeys were more work than I expected. But I'm so glad I did them, because I have so much more knowledge now on my own physique, my internal health. And then I was so inspired by all of this that I started studying, going to courses, classes, and learning as much as I can, because I realized through sharing this experience on my social media how many other women are really going through this, but they don't want to talk about it because it's not pretty. No one wants to talk about the fact that they haven't pooped for 5 days. No one wants to talk about how they love their husband, but they have no sex drive.
Well, I'm sorry. You had me at poop. 5 days, no pooping?
You would be so
I would
surprised at the
feel like
amount
I'm
of
going to
women.
explode. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You'd
I
be
know what it
surprised
feels like
how many
to,
women go that long without pooping.
yeah, I would be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that that's even a thing.
Mm-hmm. But no one wants to talk about it. It's
No, no one wants
embarrassing,
to, no one
right?
wants to
It's
say,
poop.
hi, I'm Maria and I haven't shit in 5 days. How are you?
Wait, can we say cuss words?
Yeah, we can say curse words. We can.
Oh, great. Okay, fantastic.
Do you want to redo
But
that? You want to redo that line?
no,
Just
no,
make
no,
sure
no,
it's
no.
got a
It's
poop?
okay.
Okay.
I got a few stored in me that I can use
Okay.
later.
All right. All right.
But yeah, and so just being able to provide relief for them, not in the sense of just the bathroom, but also just like other symptoms as well, was just really re-inspiring for me. And so now I'm really just set on helping women not only physically feel good, but also internally feel good. So like on the outside, they look good, but also on the inside. And I am just so thankful for the journey that I went through. I know how they feel. I know the pain and the frustration. And then I'm on the other side and I have the relief. And I want everyone to feel that because it's the best. So that's kind of been my journey. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place right now. Don't have any plans on competing anytime in the future and possibly ruining my hormones again. So yeah, we're in a pretty good balanced place.
So what you're saying is you pooped today.
I did poop today.
There we go. All right.
Solid.
So that's the question. And it was solid. So that is the question, ladies and gents, is did you poop?
It was very satisfying, beautiful experience.
Beautiful experience.
In and out.
There you go. I like it. I like it. This is the first time that we've talked about poop on the Money Script podcast. So Maria, I want to thank you.
Watch it get the most views too.
For bringing poop into the show.
You can always count on me. Poop and sex. I'll talk about it any day.
You will. And again, getting back to, I said, social media queen. What is your social media handle for the people out there?
It's Maria, MARIA _G _fit, FIT, short for fitness.
So if you're looking
stories are where it's at.
If you're looking for a little entertainment and some education.
Yes.
She had this one story that she did called What's in My Gym Bag. I giggled for a week because it also made me go look to see what's in my gym bag. And because I hadn't been to the gym in a while, because I built a home gym, I hadn't touched my gym bag since pre-COVID. You don't want to know what was in my gym bag.
No, I want to know. I think they want to know. We're trying to get the most views here. What was in your gym bag?
Apple slices were in my gym bag. 2.5 years old.
No way. It probably looked like a creature in there, like some sort of like furry. Maybe it was just like all black tar. I don't know.
It was black tar, furry, and skin. That's about it. The skin is what was still there. I immediately gagged and threw it into the trash and then set the trash on fire. I did have 2 deodorant sticks. I can't tell you how many times I ran out of deodorant. Why I had 2 deodorant sticks in my gym bag, don't know. A lock with no key. So it was a key lock. Who knows what happened to the key? 2 locks. I have no idea what the combinations are anymore. I went through my notes. I went through everything. No combination to those locks. Of course, some boxer briefs and underwear, whether they were clean or dirty, I don't know. I burned them along with the apple slices. A couple, my iPod, my iPod sleeve, my iPhone sleeve that I used to put on, but I had 2 of those because I use one when I run. So that must have been the one I left in that bag. Oh, and also socks, which again, burned with the apple slices. I'm confident those were dirty. I did find a little bit of money, not much, but there was a few dollars in there, probably from, buying my little protein shakes after. And I think that's about it. Wasn't as exciting as yours, but.
Yeah, I had a measuring tape.
You had measuring tape. Yeah.
And I think I said I used it to measure biceps at the gym.
That is what you said. That wasn't where my mind went because, you talk about poop and sex all the time. And I was like,
what do you think I was measuring my poop?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's
important. I go and find men and I measure their biceps and like the biggest one wins.
Got it. Got it. Biceps. That's what she measured. Got it.
I just
Biceps.
kidding.
Oh my goodness. So yes, it is a hoot. It's like I said, very educational, very informative. Please keep up the good work. It is a joy to watch you there. So I want to, before we get to our question that we ask all of our guests, yes, it's coming. It's coming. I have something before that. I wanted to know if you had any advice for not just women, just people in general who are looking to start their own business, because I mean, you're an expert now. You've been in business for yourself for 5 years, but what advice would you give to people that are considering going off on their own and doing something like what you're doing or what I'm doing?
Yeah, it is terrifying stepping away from someone else's business and starting your own, because there's nothing that's guaranteed and it's a lot of work at first. But I strongly, what I told my dad, because I worked for my dad for 10 years at his restaurant, and I had 3 jobs at the time when I started my business, and he was the last one that I quit. And I told him, I was like, Daddy, as much as I love working for you, I am ready to work on my dreams, not yours. So that's why I have to let this go. So yeah, there's just something about creating your own baby and literally working on what you want to do that is very fulfilling. So I guess my advice would be, go ahead and take the plunge, right? And just literally figure it out as you go. I had no plan. But I knew I needed to create time to work on my plan. And so the first thing that I did for fitness specifically, obviously I got my credentials, my certified personal training certification. And then I invested in a coach. I saw a girl on Instagram and was like, I want to do what she's doing. I messaged her and I was like, you live the life that I want to live. You have the thing going on. How did you do it? And she was like, I hired this coach. And I was like, thanks. And then I went and hired that coach. I had no money. I was $30,000 in debt at the time. And I was like, what's another 5K, right? And that program literally changed my life. So find out what you're passionate about, what you're good about it, what you're good at, and figure out who in your space or field is really killing it, and then ask them how they did it. Because what you ideally want, your dream, it's a dream of yours because you've seen it happen before somewhere else. So you can make that your own reality, just a little bit different, right? So there's a certain amount of action steps that you need to take to get from where you're at now to where you want to be. And people have done this over and over again, so it's possible. So it's just figuring out what those steps are. So it would make sense to go to someone who's already there and be like, how did you do it? And then try to follow those steps. So I think I just gave you 4 pieces of advice, but hopefully someone will take something away from that.
Solid. We're going to chop it up. It's going to be all over Instagram. It's going to be great.
Great.
All right. So now for the big question. Maria, all of our guests, we like to ask a simple question too. And the question is, what is your first memory of money?
I was probably 7 or 8 years old. We lived in this tiny town called Giracicicolo in Sicily, Italy. And I mean, I was a hustler from day one. So we wanted to make money somehow because we wanted to, I don't even know what we wanted to buy. My mom was like, you need to work for your money. I was like, okay, what are we going to do? So my sister and I came up with this idea of coloring salt with markers and then putting them in bottles. And so my mom's like, okay, you need to write me a business plan. So Danielle and I wrote her a business plan. And we said, we're going to go to all the local bars and we're going to get all of these leftover Coca-Cola bottles and beer bottles that are clear because they just throw them away. So that's how we're going to get that. And then if you will just front us the money for the salt and the markers, we're going to charge our friends this amount and we'll be able to pay you back. So she did that. She liked the business proposal. Dale and I went around town, collected all these bottles. We would take these containers and put the salt in there and just take markers and just color the salt. I don't know why we used markers, but we did until they were different colors, and we would stack them so they looked really pretty in the bottle. And then we would go to our classmates and we'd be like, hey, it's the holiday season. This would be a really cool gift for your parents. It's €1. So they would buy it. And so we would collect the money. Then eventually we would pay our mom back for, the markers and the salt. And then Gail and I would keep the proceeds, and we would go and buy like those little Coca-Cola gummy bears from the store. I think we just wanted to buy sugar, to be honest.
Oh yeah, because Dad was a sugar Nazi, so yeah, you had to buy your own
Yes, yeah, the Goliadors, I think they were called.
Wow. So you've been an entrepreneur for your whole life.
Yeah, about.
You just had a brief stint in there where you're like, okay, I'll do this
years.
job thing, but then you're like,
Yeah.
find me some markers and some salt.
Yeah, we saw it somewhere, and they were like, hey, we could probably recreate that. And then I guess we were just really convincing towards our friends. We also did the same thing with the bottles, but we would color water and then put glitter in the water. So then when we would show it to our friends, we would shake the bottles up, and then this beautiful sparkly water would appear. And we're like, your mom would love this. Absolutely love it. In fact, what custom color would you want? Oh, you want green? Great. We'll make it and bring it to you tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. That is awesome. That is beautiful. So then, like I said, here you are still making salt bottles, just in a different way. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You're still using that entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, you're creating your fitness programs and your health programs, and you're still helping people get what they want. It's just now it's probably something that's a little bit more how do I say, important to their longevity than just a shiny bottle. So hats off to you for that. That's awesome. So just to recap here a little bit, one of the greatest things that you shared that I thought was awesome, and this is a constant reminder that I have to tell myself, is I don't have to be Superman. Just as you mentioned earlier that you were trying to be Superwoman. And I have to remind myself to be a little bit more Clark Kent every now and then, and not try to be everything to everyone, and for myself to try to do everything, because I can't. I have to rest. I have to poop. There are things that are a little bit that are important to make sure that I maintain what I have, so I can show up as Superman when I'm needed. But not to be Superman all the time. So I appreciate you sharing that. You did share some great nuggets on becoming and staying a business owner. So again, kudos to you on making it 5 years, and I wish you 50 more. I hope you never have to work for anyone ever again. I love how you're helping women focus on more than just the dietary fads, and doing some research to learn more about their body and how they can take better care of it. And I have to say that you're helping people poop more often, because there's so many people that are just full of shit. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah. Well, I've been storing a couple puns. I was just waiting for the right moment, but you got it. You got it.
I got it. So we promised something earlier. So before we break, we said we would have a cute puppy moment. So Maria, go grab your puppy.
All right.
I'm going to get mine. Come here, Bella. Hi. Say hello in the camera. Say hello to the camera. Or say hello to the puppy.
So Bella looks like a poodle, right? Is she part poodle?
She is part poodle. Yes, she is.
Okay. Chloe's also part poodle. Chloe's mom was a Yorkie poo, and then her dad was a straight Yorkie. So she's a fourth poodle.
So Bella's mom is a Bichon Frise, and her dad was a poodle.
Yes.
So this is known
non-shedding.
Non-shedding. Yep. So you either call them a, what do you call it?
Bichon poo.
So it is Bishapoo, or I just like to say Bitchapoo. So it's more fun to say it that way. Yeah. Or you can refer to them as a Pouchon.
A Pouchon.
Yeah.
I like Bichapoo.
Yes. All right. See, now you've had your moment, and now you're going to be famous. Say goodbye to the people. She's trying to leave. All right. Well, thank you, Maria, for joining us for the Money Script podcast. It has been an
Pleasure.
absolute pleasure. Before you go, if there's any women out there that are looking to get some help, please tell them where to find you.
Mm-hmm. You can find me on my social media. It's at Maria_G_fit. I'm pretty active. I post every single day. I'm always in my DMs. The same name goes for TikTok as well. If you're interested in the program, I have a website. You can learn about what I do, see transformation photos. That website is www.mariagfit.com. And yeah, those are going to be your best options.
Beautiful. Well, again, Maria, thank you so much for joining us on the Money Script podcast. Everyone out there, count your poops. Are you pooping at least daily? And are you in and out? And is it solid?
What a way to end that.
Also, give some attention to your finances as well. Maria said earlier when she was trying to figure out what to do with her business, she hired a coach. If you're trying to figure out what to do with your finances, consider hiring a financial advisor. If you need help with taxes, consider hiring a CPA. If you need help with legal stuff, hire an attorney. You don't have to be Superman or woman. It's okay to ask for a little help. We will see you next week. We've got a huge lineup next week. I think next week you'll probably see me wear the same shirt twice, 2 podcasts in a row for my friends on YouTube, because I got back-to-back podcasts. And I love you all, but I can wear the same shirt because I did record it in the same day, and I'm okay with that. Make sure you subscribe to us on Instagram at The Money Script. Leave some comments. We do read your comments, especially the ones on Twitter and the questions you have. We bring them to the show. Of course, check out the show notes on whatever platform you're listening to this to or watching this on, and you can get all Maria's information and, of course, ours as well. So until next time, we will see you on the Money Script podcast. Take care. Thanks for joining us on the Money Script podcast. Be sure to check out our other episodes, subscribe, follow, and give us 5 stars. Continue to send your financial questions on Twitter or Instagram at The Money Script. Go to moneyscriptwealth.com and schedule your complimentary consultation to discuss your specific goals and concerns. Financial advisory and investment management services are offered by Money Script Wealth Management PLLC, a registered investment advisory firm registered in the state of Texas and California and other states where exempt. The Money Script LLC and the Money Script Wealth Management PLLC and guests of the episode may have interest in the investments mentioned today. The opinions and views are expressed here are for informational purposes only. This material is educational in nature and should not be deemed as a solicitation for any specific product or service. All investments involve risk and a significant loss of principal. The Money Script nor Money Script Wealth Management offer tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney for specific advice about your situation. Until next time.